What's up, guys? Welcome back. So I just got off of shift today. As I mentioned last week, I wanted this video to be just a little different. Rather than kind of taking you guys to shift, it's going to be my 48 hours off of shift. Today being Friday going into Saturday. Going to do a full day of training, just a bit of tomorrow because I do have a Hyrox engine builder style session tomorrow morning. So the goal for today is to take you guys through a 7.5 mile just easy run, which I'll probably end up doing with Callie in the running stroller today because I'm on baby duty while Megan is working, kind of running around doing her real estate stuff. So kind of rushing because the goal is to get her to the park before her nap time. So rather than doing a full bowl of oats, which is what I planned to do today, we're just gonna do a smoothie. Once again, as you guys have already seen. So generally in the morning, if it's super early or I'm in a rush, I'm gonna hammer out a smoothie with oats, mixed berries, whey, protein from BPN, and then the creatine that I don't have in my hands now, some yogurt, honey, because it's my new obsession with that. And it gets me good carbs in, a little sugar, but that's all right. Knock that down real quick, and then I'm gonna jump out of here and take her to the park. But if you guys are new here, new to the channel in general, just quick introduction. My name is Paul Coulson. I am a South Florida-based firefighter, paramedic, rescue diver. I'm also a hybrid athlete, an online fitness coach, as well as some in-person, which I'm phasing out of currently. Do still coach group classes in person as well, which I have tomorrow morning after the Hyrox session. I am also a father, husband. My daughter is about a year and a half, so a year and 5 months. I know I messed up the months last week. Someone called me out on that. So stuff gets confusing. Once you get after 12 months, it's like adding and subtracting. Yeah, I'm not good with all that stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna make some food. And then again, today's gonna be a full day of training, full day of eating for the most part. I'd like to get a little bit more of that in here as well. And then I've had some of you guys drop questions here and there between DMs or on, the YouTube videos themselves. So I'm gonna kind of sprinkle those in to answer you guys' questions just throughout the video. So just stay tuned, make sure you're watching. If you guys had questions, chances are I'm gonna answer it. And if you guys are liking the videos, just make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, sticking around. I appreciate you guys. So stick around. We're gonna make some food and jump out of here because we're on a time crunch. So later. 18 monohydrate from BPN as well. Creatine, I hit daily when I do the creatine. It's one of those things, your body can only create so much of that creatine phosphate, and topping off the stores each day helps, especially when you're doing these aerobic endurance or just high strength sessions where the primary source is going to be your phosphagen or creatine phosphate systems that you're pulling from. So we naturally will exhaust those sources so fast. Having this additional reserve or top off is only going to help increase your overall performance, which is just going to like transfer throughout the workout. You're pushing harder, you're going to get better gains. It tends to give your body a little bit more capability to push further within the workout, whereas maybe your muscles gas out a little quicker before because you've exhausted the reserves. Now we have a little bit extra to do that extra 1, 2, 3 reps, feeling a little bit stronger as we go through it, transitions to more gains and progress, later down the road. But it is one of those things that once you stop taking, your body kind of does a full reset. So it's something that you should do whether you're working out or not working out religiously every day, whether it's morning, afternoon, night, before your workouts, it doesn't really matter. I always do it in the mornings just because that is what works for me, and I know I'm gonna get it in if I do it like that. Back from the park and was supposed to jump right into a run prior to Callie going down for a nap, and that just did not end up working out. She was tired, we stayed, I went to the dog park first, and then we went to the playground so she could play. And by the time we got back, I was like, she's definitely not gonna make it by the time I have coffee, you know, go to the bathroom, stretch, do all that stuff. So the goal now after coffee and doing all those things, when she wakes up, I'll probably feed her breakfast or some lunch at this point. From there, we got the 7.5 mile run that we're gonna jump into. So I'm gonna take her in the stroller. It's nice out. I'll probably bring some snacks and then we'll hit it like that. It's not ideal to do the runs in the stroller. You just adds resistance, especially now that it's a little bit windier outside. It gives you definitely a little bit more resistance. Just for an easy run, you know, it makes you work a little bit harder. I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone and work a little harder in the process of it. It is what it is. You know, you have to do what you have to do. My only other alternative is to hit a late night run after I've already worked out today. And I'm not super interested in doing that because I'm gonna wake up early tomorrow and do the Hyrox based workout, which I haven't decided if I'm gonna do more engine building style or if I'm gonna do more like threshold and really just hammer it out, more compromised conditioning elements. So we'll figure that out as the day progresses. But for right now, coffee, I do the Keurig double espresso, generally a teaspoon of brown sugar, top that with ice after I frothed it up, and then I'll throw some of the cashew milk from Trader Joe's on there as well. And because I'm due for a snack, we're gonna have a banana, which is not exactly the best combo with coffee, but while I have some time, I did have a couple questions. I'm gonna knock out a few of them while we are here. How do you come up with healthy meals? Do you only have smoothies for breakfast? So that's fitting, right? So as far as healthy meals go, I'm pretty basic and generic and just repetitive with how I eat. Generally in the morning, it's either a smoothie, like I said this earlier, if I'm moving quick and I need to be in and out, smoothie's easier to put down, to make and get out. But generally, whatever's in the smoothie, if I do decide to do it in just a bowl format and have, you know, oats, it's the same thing. It's just one's in a bowl, one's in a smoothie. There is an element to that I have noticed recently, now that I've switched back to the smoothie, is you still tend to be hungrier faster, less satiating than you having a full bowl of oats with fruit and all those things, which is gonna take you a little bit longer to eat, obviously keeping you more satiated as time goes on. So yes, either a smoothie or a bowl of oats with fruit and all those things mixed in, honey, sometimes peanut butter. Healthy meals, again, it's the simple stuff, right? I mean, for the most part, we try to switch things up at night, in the evenings for dinner, whether it be salmon, potatoes, salmon and rice, or sometimes we'll throw in pasta if I've got bigger runs, or if I'm just, you know, my macros are significantly under where my carb is for the day, then we can do some pasta, stuff like that. Generally, I stay away from crazy sauces. We do more oil and actual tomato-based sauces versus doing the canned stuff. Tends to hurt my stomach as well as her stomach a little bit more. That's kind of how that goes. But we don't have, neither of us are executive chefs over here. So if we're finding good meals, if we're finding healthy options that are outside of just the traditional meal prep or steak, salmon, and things like that, then generally it's gonna come from Google, because why not? How do you track your caloric intake? So for me, I write out my and my clients, first their BMR, and then I calculate their TDEE, which I'll put the formulas or something up here so you guys can check that out. But having a base understanding of what your TDEE is gonna give you your total energy expenditure and calorie burn for the day. And then you can adjust your macros based on, or your calorie intake based on that, which is what you're pulling your macros from. And then you can base it off that. Obviously, if you're trying to lose weight, you're in a negative deficit of like anywhere from 500 to 300. You're at a maintenance, which is what I'm currently sitting at, which I'm comfortable with, or in a slight surplus, which sometimes I go into a surplus, but maintain majority of the week I'm in a maintenance period. That is that. All right, so we've chatted for a little bit. I'm gonna drink my coffee, eat my banana. I'll see you guys in a bit. Scratch what I said. We're not gonna be running now. She just woke up shortly after I got off here. Tried to sit down and read for a second. That didn't work out very well. So now I'm gonna make her some food, and then I'm gonna make myself some food, because I just realized that the timing of it all wasn't gonna work out. If I ran and then came back, I wasn't gonna have enough time to eat before I lift, and then my lift was gonna sacrifice. So I'm not gonna do that. So we're gonna eat now. I'm gonna make her some food. She's being a little bit of a sour patch right now, sweet and sour. to be expected. She just woke up. She's probably getting hungry. So we're gonna make food and then we'll get after it from there. For her, for food, I've got some rice, chicken thighs, and some black beans, which for her, she enjoys. She doesn't really like eggs like I do. My second meal of the day, if I'm not at the station, is generally always gonna be eggs, bacon, cheese, spinach, egg whites, did I say cheese? And a bagel. And I put some cottage cheese on top of the bagel to go from there. She is getting hungry. So we're gonna do that, prepare for the montage, breakfast, and I'll see you guys when we sit down to eat. By the way, if you don't wanna hear all the talking and the eating, skip ahead. Yeah, that's when clearly this is all gonna be workout on the back half of the video. We got the strength and Hyrox conditioning. Then we've got the run tonight, and then tomorrow morning finishing out with a Hyrox, either threshold or builder. So she's getting impatient. I'll see you in a sec. So this is take 2 of trying to get Callie to eat. Because I put her down after we chatted. She threw a plate across the room while I was prepping my food. So she's just not having it today. Got it. Anyways, breakfast is served for me. 6 ounces of egg whites, 2 eggs, Vital Farms. Not always the case. Try to get just anything organic pasture raised. And then an everything bagel. And then the cottage cheese that I put on top is by Coulson, I believe, which is also the milk that we drink. I'm gonna eat lunch now. Megan's on her way home, so I'll be heading out to the gym shortly after that. So we've got total body strength, finishing it with a Hyrox-based conditioning burnout. I might change, so I'm not gonna tell you that yet. We'll tell you once we get there. So we're gonna hammer that out. I'll talk to you guys as we kind of pump through different movements. But generally my training structure right now, as far as getting ready for Hyrox, is full body focus 3 times a week as far as my strength goes. At the end of those strength sessions, I'm doing some sort of a focused Hyrox conditioning or strength element, generally a strength conditioning element. So carries, ski, running, burpee broad jumps, sled pushes, things like that in a mini circuit to finish out the workout, get my heart rate elevated and keep getting a little bit into that threshold zone for 10 to 15 minutes to end the workout. So that's been my breakdown so far. I do program all of this myself. I study, do my own research, studied for the CSCS for the longest time. I've been a trainer for a long time. I've competed in CrossFit amongst a bunch of other things. And I've been training functionally for a long time. So really taking these elements, it's the style I've already trained in. So now I'm just piecing it together into my own format. And the hardest part for me is developing the ability to perform at a compromised state. I'm gonna eat before my stuff gets cold. The next time I see you, we'll be at the gym. So stay tuned. We finally get into the good stuff, lifting, running, and then a Hyrox to finish it out. Yeah, it's gonna be a good day. As you can see, shit is always changing in my life. That's why if you're a new parent or you're an athlete juggling a million different things, regardless of the matter, life gets busy and it's our responsibility to be fluid and be adaptable and moldable to the situation and the surroundings that present. So have a plan, but understand plans do change. And we're off. Head into the gym. Got out a little early, so I have some time to get a nice lift in. And then climb after that, and a nice chilly run to finish out the night. So town some pre-workout, so that tingle's about to kick in. And I've still got a nice 20-minute drive before we get there. So time to get it going. All right, so we're finally here and we're gonna do some mobility before we get started. I was on the bike for about 5 minutes, warmed up a little bit. Now we got mobility, and then we're gonna go into the actual workout, which I start with some power and plyometrics, which today's pogo hops, power skips for height, just focusing on getting that knee drive high, working power through the extension, helps with running power and form as well. So it is loud in here, so I'm gonna try to talk through some of this stuff, but I have no idea how this audio is even gonna come out, so we shall see how good the microphone is. After that, my power movement is going to be a power snatch, dumbbell alternating power snatch, and then we'll go into the compound movement, barbell military press, and then a giant set. So just 3 sets. We're gonna do a dumbbell sumo deadlift, single arm dumbbell chest press, a Bulgarian split squat from the goblet position, and then a 3-point dumbbell row. So, and then after that, hopefully I have enough time. That's kind of what the breakdown looks like in the app. I'll probably throw it up on the screen so you can see it a little bit more in depth. After that, finish out with a quick 2 or 3 round, just get the heart rate up, Hyrox focused finisher, probably a sled pull and push, carry, a bike, and a ski to finish out. So we're gonna jump into this and hammer it out because we got about an hour before I gotta be out of here. So I will see you guys on the other side. So workout number 1 is done and in the books. It was good overall. Haven't done shoulder presses like that in quite a while. So 135 felt pretty heavy for 8 reps. Obviously the mobility and things like that in the beginning. My goal was to be able to talk to you guys through it. I just didn't want to have to deal with the copyright issues of music playing in the background, not to mention the music was super fucking loud in there and it just wasn't going to work out. So I definitely highlighted some weaknesses with the ending bit. With the push-pull on the sled, I felt good on the ski. I generally feel pretty good on the ski. The bike always kicks my ass, but my aerobic capabilities have definitely increased since running. Now, what I felt not increase or kind of build, and I definitely need to work on, is the anaerobic side of things, which used to be my strong point. But now obviously I flip-flopped a little bit more on that side and need to get more dialed in with more of the compromised work and just back-to-back, keeping that heart rate high and working in those zones. My technique on the sled pull was something that I noticed needed work. My sled push, I think, pretty much dialed, but it was a sled pull that I have not done in a long time, and that I definitely noticed it. I had needed some technique fixes as far as that much weight on there. I just haven't done so in the past. In the past, usually it's a lighter sled pull, and it's quick, hand over hand, pulling it through, generally fire service stuff. Like when we're doing trainings with that, it's 30, 40 pound, 50 pound donut roll or hose roll that we're picking up and pulling up the tower, which isn't super heavy. Whereas I'm pulling 300 pounds on a sled to get to me. It's very much so not the hand over hand movements, and definitely more of that walk backwards while pulling motion that I'm not familiar with because I'm not used to doing it. So I'm glad that I did that today because it highlighted stuff that needs to get dialed in and worked on in future trainings. So I had my client right after that, and now we're heading home. I'm going to kick it, probably have dinner, and then wait until Callie has gone to bed, which will probably be around 7:30, 8 o'clock. So it's going to be a late run. That'll take probably about an hour to get the 7.5 miles in, So I got to get the miles done. And then tomorrow morning we have the Hyrox stuff. So listen, PSA, this is not my ideal day of training, right? My ideal day of training is early morning run, plenty of rest in between, hydrate, eat, then hit my lift, and then that's it for the day. And then tomorrow and the following morning, I would also hit a run. In this instance, we had to flip-flop things around, move things around just based on what was going on and, you know, what was happening in my life. So now we're stacking things on top of each other with minimal rest in between, which is not perfect. Is it manageable? Is it doable? Yes. Is it ideal? Absolutely not. You know, minimal rest right into the Hyrox stuff. If I have to pull that back a little bit, then I will. If I feel good, then I'll send it. So. What is up, guys? So obviously things have changed a little bit. I was supposed to get the run in last night. That shit didn't work out very well. Callie was fighting sleep left and right. Megan wasn't feeling good. So I chalked it up as, hey, I'm just gonna do it tomorrow and go all out on the Hyrox circuit that I have today, which I'm mixing in 3 different AMRAPs, 15 minutes apiece, starting with a 500-meter run, following the first round up with a sled push at pro weight, which is like 350 something. And then following that with burpee broad jumps for about 20 meters, 25 meters. Second one, after 3 minutes of rest, we're gonna go into another AMRAP for 15 minutes, another 500-meter run, followed by wall balls and carries, I think. No, lunges and carries. And then the last one is going to be another 500-meter run, wall balls and lunges. So something like that. I'll put it up on the screen so you guys can see it, because I don't have it off the top of my head, so I think I might have messed it up. But regardless, running 3 different AMRAPs, 15 minutes apiece, an hour is the goal, in and out. I already coach classes. I've gotten over 16,000 steps in 3 hours coaching the classes, so now we're gonna turn it around and finish out the workout. What is going on? So things have not exactly been as planned for this video, as you can probably already tell. I am now heading to shift, so you guys have now seen up until a 48-hour period of days between shift and training that revolves around what was supposed to be just a single day, because plans change and things had to get shifted around quite a little bit. The last thing I think I left you guys off with was the Hyrox circuit destroyed me. Those sled pushes are heavy, and just kind of going into the compromised runs right out of the gate was a brutal one. It was nice to get the 3 minutes of downtime, so I'm glad I programmed the rest periods in there between the AMRAPs themselves, because there's no way that would have been done other than that. I definitely see weaknesses in what used to be a strong suit for me, being my anaerobic system, now on the little bit of a weaker side. Still something I got to gear back towards, but I think mixing in more of these ANREP based things, or just really an engine builder with anaerobic capacity built into it, and just kind of structuring my components like that will help get my anaerobic system caught back up. Because for the most part, I feel like, I was still holding an 8-ish, 805, sometimes 750 pace, which I want to be more 745-ish range on the 1Ks. And again, that was the 500s, but I was doing a lot more repetition on that. I only was getting through 2 to 3 rounds between each, just because of the volume of stuff between, just taking more time, especially the sleds. But it was good, and it's good to see kind of where I'm at now, going into the month of February, March, April. So we'll have about a 60-day real push coming up here soon. Initial strength circuit in the beginning of the video, or halfway through the video. It's all jumping around at this point. And then you got in some nutrition stuff. We got in the Hyrox session. This morning I ran an additional 7.5 miles, and I'm heading to shift. That was in makeup for the easy run that I missed altogether, which was not so easy because I decided to push tempo a little bit, which in general was still difficult because my legs are absolutely cooked from yesterday. They just feel beat up from the sled push, the lunges, the wall balls, the running, etc. It's good to get that stuff mixed in. I'm glad I finished out the week, so on shift today, now I can just work on, kicking it, running calls, and doing stuff like that. So without making this video already longer than it already is with all my talking segments, you see how things have jumped around quite a little bit throughout this video today. And that kind of just highlights the fact of, you see the perfect world of the athletes out there and things like that that are paid to be an athlete, whether it be professional or semi-professional, whatever the case is. And, they're getting in 3-4 sessions a day, 2 sessions a day consistently. And it's often hard to maintain that. Like, even for me, really 1 session a day is more than enough with how much I have going on, family, work, and things like that. And without taking away from my wife having the ability to do stuff. So the days that I'm doing the 2 days, like, I'm either doing this first session super early or super late, and that makes it more difficult. But you can obviously see how things have to adapt and change constantly on the fly. So as much as I want certain routines to be perfect and to really dial my training in, sometimes it just doesn't end up working out to that capacity. That being said, it's not always like this where I have to push things around so much, but I have to be able to mold and adapt to how my wife's feeling, how Callie's feeling, and those are the priority number 1. And then me getting in the training and things like that are gonna come second. And that's just how it is, because family is that top priority for me. But I'm still gonna chase that, and I'm still gonna be an athlete, and I'm still gonna find the time for it. So as long as I'm making consistent progress forward, that's all that matters. And that kind of leads me into my segue out of the video. Still reading Atomic Habits. As you guys have already known, I am a slow reader and I have a million different things on, so it's more of just, slowing my mind down at the end of the night or the morning if I have the time. But there was a passage in that was talking about how we oftentimes can choose 2 directions, living, our lives in motion, which is constantly filling our plates, constantly having busy work, constantly learning, but never living our life, which is option number 2, living our life in action. So oftentimes a lot of people, this was myself included, which is why it hit, until I launched the business, until I started competing, until I started pushing myself, that I was finding myself living a lot of my life in motion, getting rewarded by the fact that I'm like, it's okay, I'm learning, and I'm growing, and I'm making progress, but never actually putting pedal to the metal and making action, signing up for the race, signing up for the test, taking the test, starting the business. If you're starting in the gym, getting to the gym 3 times a week, 4 times a week, eating right, actually taking action. And a lot of times we can live in this autopilot of just walking through the motions and getting this sense of reward by learning or doing the research, but not actually putting forth the effort and taking the action because we're afraid of denial or failure. And in my case, it was failure. If you're not failing, you're not trying. And if you're not trying, you're not growing. And that is what life comes down to. So we can either choose to live in autopilot and live life in motion, or we can choose to live life in action. And I'm choosing action. So I challenge you guys to think on that topic a little bit. If you've made it this far in the video, again, you guys are the real ones. Please continue liking, subscribing, commenting if you're interested in viewing me a little bit more in my daily life. as well as my other coaching, go ahead and drop a follow at Paul Coulson Coaching on Instagram. That's where I'm at. Or visit my website, www.paulcoulsoncoaching.com, for training stuff. At the bottom of the page, you can just fill out the link, and then we can jump on a call together and kind of talk about what your goals look like and how we can make that happen. Running a little over on the time frame of talking that I wanted to, so I'm going to sign off here for the day and head to shift, and I will see you guys in the next one. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon.
Holy crap!